Hello! Today we're going to make some rock candy. Rock candy is made from sugar and water. Supplies you're going to need are a saucepan, a jar, I have lots of canning jars, or a glass that will withstand some hot temperatures. I have a measuring cup with some water in it. I have 1.5 cups of sugar. And I'm going to use a skewer. You can also use popsicle sticks in order to do your rock candy. All right, so to begin with, I'm going to take my skewer here and I am going to dip it in my water. I'm going to get it wet. And then I'm going to just dip it in my sugar. I'm going to coat it with some sugar crystals that are on there. And I'm going to set this off to dry for about an hour. So this works best if you let this sit and dry for about an hour. You want this completely dry. Since we live in Illinois and it's summertime, it's hot and humid, this is taking a while to dry. I have one that I did previously. Did this several hours ago. Here is my skewer with some sugar crystals on it, ready to go. That's been drying for several hours. Okay, so ingredients-wise, I have my saucepan. In my saucepan, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of water. And I have over here 1.5 cups of sugar. Feel free to double this recipe if you would like to double the recipe. I'm going to add my sugar. And as you can see, I have not turned on the heat yet. As you can see, the sugar does not dissolve completely in my water. This is due to the fact that this is called a saturated solution. Saturated solution means that I have more sugar in my water than will dissolve. So if you're making some hot tea and you put sugar in your hot tea, you can stir it to get it to dissolve. And at that point, when your sugar dissolves, it's called an unsaturated solution. So I don't have all my sugar dissolved in here. No matter how much I stir, I'm not going to get my sugar to dissolve. So I'm going to put my burner close to high, not quite on high. And I am going to let my solution go ahead and heat up. As you can see now, my sugar water is boiling. I'm going to remove it from my heat. It should be clear. We'll get rid of all my foam bubbles. And you can see that I can see through down to the bottom of my pan, so I have dissolved all my sugar. If you would like to flavor or color your rock candy, now is the time to add some food coloring and or some flavoring. If you have candy flavoring at home, you can go ahead and add that at this time. I have neither. So sorry, I'm not going to be able to color my solution nor add flavoring to it. And I'm going to let this sit in the pan and cool for a few minutes before I pour it into my jar. At this point, I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons of water to my solution. Doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold, we're trying to cool, so cool water is fine. Still pretty hot. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my jar. This is where you need help of mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever's helping you. And as you can see, I have a clear solution. I can see through this. So all of my sugar has gone ahead and dissolved. I'm going to let this sit now and cool for 10 minutes. Now that my 10 minutes have bypassed, I am going to get a clothespin or some kind of clip. I want to put my seeded or sugar-coated skewer in here. I don't want it to touch the bottom, so I'm putting it on the stove, kind of marking it, and then I will put it in the back cavity of my clothespin so it'll sit on top and sit there now and let it make some rock candy for me. Here is some rock candy that I made previously. Worked on and made this yesterday. I probably, if you wait 7 to 10 days, you're going to need a knife to break up the surface because it will form a crust. As you can see, I have some crystals already formed on here. I'm going to put it in another jar. This time it can sit in a glass. It needs to drip to allow all of the rest of my sugar water to come off. And once it is done, you have some nice looking crystals here. That you can then go ahead and eat. The longer you leave this in your solution, the bigger your rock candy, basically like a sucker, will form. So this is a little less than 24 hours worth of growing. Enjoy your rock candy.